Coming to you live from the White Picket Studios in Houston, Texas, this is the Realty Ruckus. If you are in any way, shape, or form involved in the real estate industry, this is the show for you. And now, your host, Alan Hernandez.
I gotta get some drumming in. Good morning. Welcome to the Realty Ruckus here at the White Picket Realty Studios. It's Friday, and we are so thankful that it is because we have a great show. Notice I didn't say phenomenal show today, even though it is.
It's probably going to be one of the more phenomenal shows.
It's going to be one of the best shows we've ever had.
We do have a Facebook legend.
We have a special guest, Facebook legend Chris Johnson here today. Thank you very much, Chris. Thank you for joining us.
You're welcome.
And not only are we going to talk about all of the ins and outs of getting out of your corporate job and into real estate, you know, all of the mistakes that one can make. Chris, you've probably made a few of those. I know I made a bunch too.
I've made one or two.
Yeah. And people don't get a chance to really see any of that. People think that, you know, you get into real estate and you don't make any mistakes. In fact, I see even now that people with a lot of experience are making mistakes, and a lot of it has to do with the market changing, but also just some of it has to do with you just not knowing sometimes, not knowing what you don't know. And I just had a recent client who, and we represent the selling side of this party. I had a client who, we had a buyer come in and do inspections, and then after they received the inspections, obviously the buyer wanted a bunch of work done, right? So that's generally how this works. Is you put a listing up for sale, the buyer we get a contract on it, then they go out and do inspections, and they get a slew of things because inspectors, that's their job, to make your house look horrible, and they get a list of things they want done. Well, in that list, there was a couple of major issues, and then in this case, the buyer wanted all of them done. He was just like, hey, we want all of them done, which I don't blame him. That's generally what buyers say. The seller says, nope, not going to happen. We'll give you a couple $1,000s in lieu of nearly $30,000 in repairs. Mind you, this is a higher end deal. So obviously the deal doesn't go through. And then came the question of, well, does that inspection have to be shared with new buyers, right? And then there comes the question is, well, what if the seller, our client, didn't even see the inspection? And who has to share that inspection? Does your broker have to share that inspection report? When, why, how much risk is involved in you sharing it? And so all of these questions came up because obviously the seller didn't want this inspection report getting out to new potential buyers, right? Why would he? That just basically gives them ammo for negotiation up front. They already come in knowing that there are things that need to be repaired on the house. So it doesn't really quite make sense. But we start digging into it some more, and we start realizing that there's case law now. There are laws, and there have been other situations at play where you can't even say, hey, you know what, I didn't open the email. I got it, but I didn't open it. Or yeah, I got it, but I didn't read it. And there have been people out there who have tried to do this, and the court has said, you know what, if you have the email, whether you opened it or you read it or not, you know about the situation and you have to disclose. So that's one of the things I want to talk about is how do you keep out of those situations, especially when you're first getting started? Because getting into one of those, man, that can ruin your business. If you accidentally don't disclose something, you're in major trouble. So we're going to continue talking about that in a bit. Don't forget, you guys that are out there watching us live, YouTube, Facebook, you name it. You can drop all your questions, concerns. Of course, trolling is appreciated. We absolutely love trolls, don't we, Chris?
Oh, I love it.
And you've had a handful of those here
Yes,
recently, man. I can't wait to talk about those here shortly. We're going to bring up a couple of your favorite ones at least. And heard you've been polishing up on, what was it, Vincentisms, or what is it?
Yeah, Vincentives.
Vincentives. I definitely want to talk about what the heck is that and understand where that came from. And here's the thing. We have so many things going on in life. It's, family, business. Sometimes you get a chance to get away and just have a little time. And last night, if I still have some time, I got to tell you guys, I'm going to give you guys a spoiler. I went out and saw.
Stop. We literally
the Star Wars
movie,
and it was awesome.
I'm shutting his mic off. because I told him before the show, do not get into the Star Wars movie.
We did not condone Star Wars spoilers.
We were very clear on telling him, do not give any Star Wars spoilers. So your mic is shut off unless you promise to not give your spoiler out. I'll turn it back on.
Turn it on.
You cannot give your spoiler.
We're
about to go to commercial.
I'm sorry,
anyway,
guys. I tried to tell you guys what the movie was all about. It's a great movie, and you guys should probably go out there and watch it. It's good. I did everything I could. I'm sorry.
And for the record, I want the listeners to know that I actually had to turn your mic off. It wasn't just acting. His mic was shut off because we warned him this morning. Do not spoil the movie.
I just wanted to give you guys a quick spoiler because I thought the movie was great. But anyways, we're gonna take a quick commercial break. We'll be right back. Stay tuned. It's going to be a great show.
Hey everyone, this is David over at White Picket Realty, and I wanted to tell you about my friends over at Plans Express who can save you the headache of running your own permits. These guys are committed to offering a one-stop solution for all your plan and permit needs. They're proudly serving their friends and neighbors in the Houston surrounding areas, and they offer great service and an exceptional value. With dedicated professionals ready to serve, contact them today at 832-675-6217.
Hey Houston, this is Alan Hernandez, and I want to remind you guys to visit our friends over at Quest IRA to learn everything there is to learn about investing with your IRA. Now, if you haven't been over there recently, you have to check them out. They have free educational classes, networking opportunities, the ability to tap into $1 billion for your real estate investing deals. These are the guys to know when it comes to learning about this kind of stuff. You want to make sure you visit them and check them out over at www.questira.com. Again, that's questira.com.
Stop searching and start staying in the know with our Houston Real Estate Events page on Facebook. Follow us by searching at Houston Real Estate Events to stay up to date on the latest events for real estate in the Houston area. If you are interested in having your event on our page, please email me at david@whitepickettrealty.com. Again, that's david@whitepickettrealty.com. Non-paid events only. One more time, find us on Facebook at Houston Real Estate Events, and we'll see y'all at the next one.
What do you love about White Picket?
I love that we work together as a team.
I love being professional while having fun.
I love the innovative approach we take every day.
I love the support we get to grow our business.
We love White Picket.
And I love empowering the next generation of realtors to live life by their own design. If you're looking to grow, come grow with us. Email join@teamwpr.com. Again, that's join@teamwpr.com.
And we are back on Realty Ruckus. Remember that you can live tweet us at Realty Ruckus. You can also find us live on Facebook and YouTube, where you can chat with us live during the air. But right now, we've got some major weather changes coming. So, David, how's the weather going to be out there this weekend?
Yeah, so today and for part of tomorrow, we're going to be in the mid-70s. We do have a chance of rain today. And then for the next few days after that, so late Saturday night, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, we're actually going to be experiencing a cold snap. So on Sunday, the high is going to be 43.
The high?
Yeah, the high.
Wow.
The low will be right above freezing. Guys, we do have an event that is suited to warm you up the next few days, so we'll talk about that later on in the show.
Yeah, definitely. So now that I am done telling you guys all about Rogue One, and I've given you all the spoilers about it, I do want to talk a little bit about real estate. And I know it's not that easy for us to talk about real estate here on the show, but that's what this show is all about. Guys, don't forget that you guys can drop your comments, questions, concerns, trolling. I know that we've already had a couple people post some trolls on there. Thank you guys very much for doing that.
You really want some trolling.
No,
you
it's
want
all right.
to get
it's all right. We encourage trolling. It's not that big a deal for us. Anyway, you guys, I gotta tell you guys, when I first met our guest Chris, it was it's been what, like a year now?
Yeah, about a year.
And here's the thing, like we met. We immediately knew, hey, this guy is doing things the right way. We agreed. We did some business together. Actually, Chris, you lent us some money, and we flipped the house with you as our private money lender, and we did really well on it. You did well. We did well, and we keep watching you and just continuously grow in the real estate market. We see.
Well, and the best thing about Chris is that you get a lot of newbies who tell you all the not lies necessarily, but they only show you the successes. So they make you feel like this is a get-rich-quick scam type thing.
Yep.
And then you have a guy like Chris who's very honest and open about everything. There is no lies. There is no hiding anything. He's just very, very clear. This is what it was. This is what happened. And whether I made or lost money, this is the experience behind it.
And sometimes in real estate, you lose money. But people tend to gravitate to always talking about how amazingly successful they are, or overhyping a transaction, posting a HUD that says they made 200 grand when they have 195,000 in holding costs and only made $5 grand. So we get a chance to really understand the background of that, but I feel like the public doesn't. The public doesn't really see what the reality of real estate investing is, how hard it is, the hours that you got to put into it, and the lessons that you have to learn. And so we definitely appreciate the fact that you're out there letting people know the reality of things. And I know that some people haven't been too much of a fan, and you've gotten some interesting you've built a fan base of trolls for that.
I have.
But I think that's part of it. And actually, one of our best listeners mentioned that if you don't have a troll, you're probably not doing things right. But we want to talk about how you got from where you were in terms of corporate America, because I know you used to work corporate America, right?
Sure. Yeah, I did.
And then all of a sudden you decided, hey, this is going to happen, and now I'm doing this. So tell us about where you were in corporate America and how you made the transition.
Sure. Yeah, I worked in corporate America in IT for the last 20 years and was doing great, making a good living. All of a sudden, we've got a new boss that came in town, and Stephen Brooks, you know who you are. I'm sure he's not listening.
Threw him out there.
Threw him out there.
You'd be surprised how easy it is to find people on Facebook. We found that out last week.
Yeah.
Well, this guy started laying people off left and right, pretty much destroyed the department that we built over the last number of years. It got pretty frustrating. I knew that real estate sounded cool, looked cool, watched all the flipping shows on TV, saw how easy it was to make $50,000, $100,000 on every house. And
those flipping shows are super accurate.
So I thought, I'm going to do it. So I was soon to be laid off as well. I decided I'm just going to do this. I'm going to quit my job and become a full-time real estate investor overnight.
So did you actually get laid off, or did you quit before the layoffs came?
I quit before. I just got frustrated. They let go too many of my good friends, and that was it. So
you knew it was coming eventually.
Oh,
so
yeah.
You might as well.
I was next on the list. Yeah.
Man, that's horrible. And I feel like so many people experience that right now, especially with the oil prices. And we've seen it even like in our family. We have friends and family in the oil industry, and we've seen how they just get laid off, and they really don't have an alternate plan. What do I do? Where do I go? You were watching all the shows, you were doing everything else that everyone else loves to do and wants to do. And I hear people all the time that say, "Oh, I would love to be in real estate, and I would love to start a business." But you actually did it. And what steps did you take to go from, "Hey, I'm in corporate America," to "I'm just gonna get into real estate no matter what"?
Well, after I left and decided to do this, I did it on my own for a few months. I floundered around. I read on websites, Bigger Pockets and other websites of what to do. I spent like $500 sending out yellow letters and then wondering why I wasn't getting any calls. I thought I was going to get blasted with calls. But
what's funny though? You're not the only person to think that. I've had a lot of other people who come in and they do their mailing lists, and they'll send out 500 letters, and they think that the next day their phone is just going to be blowing up off the hook constantly, like hundreds of sellers calling. Everyone who received the letter wants to sell their house. Yeah. That's very much an illusion.
Well, I did get a few calls, and my wife thought it was funny when the phone rang. I was terrified. I realized I didn't know what to say, so I let them go to voicemail so I could figure out what am I supposed to do when I call this guy back. And it just so happened the first person that I returned her call was a lady that said, I got your letter, and she lives in Oak Forest, and she said, I know I'm sitting on a gold mine. You guys are all vultures that do this. I'm not dead yet. Call back in a year and ask my daughter, and then we'll see if you can buy your house. I was like, ma'am, I'm sorry. I didn't mean anything.
There's a little welcome.
But did you call her back?
Real estate,
right? Did you call the daughter back then?
I called.
She's still on the follow-up list.
Yeah, she's on the list.
Excuse me, has your mom died?
She told me to call back.
Yeah, I know. Wow, that's rough.
You know, we've gotten letters like that. We had one that we sent out, and somebody actually took the time to write, "You cockroach, something or another, don't ever call me again." Something, you know, something to that effect. Do you remember that letter?
Yeah, pretty
and
nasty.
We posted it up on Facebook, and you know, people couldn't believe the stuff that you get sometimes. It's kind of crazy. But unfortunately, we got to take a quick commercial break. But we're gonna continue our conversation as soon as we get back on how you went from corporate America, full-time real estate investor, kicking butt, taking names out there,
To the successful, seasoned wizard you see in front of you.
I love that wizard.
We'll be right back, guys. We're going to take a quick break. Stay tuned.
Hey everyone, this is David over at White Picket Realty, and I wanted to tell you about my friends over at Plans Express who can save you the headache of running your own permits. These guys are committed to offering a one-stop solution for all your plan and permit needs. They're proudly serving their friends and neighbors in the Houston surrounding areas, and they offer great service at an exceptional value. With dedicated professionals ready to serve, contact them today at 832-675-6217.
Hey Houston, this is Alan Hernandez, and I want to remind you guys to visit our friends over at Quest IRA to learn everything there is to learn about investing with your IRA. Now, if you haven't been over there recently, you have to check them out. They have free educational classes, networking opportunities, the ability to tap into $1 billion for your real estate investing deals. These are the guys to know when it comes to learning about this kind of stuff. You want to make sure you visit them and check them out over at www.questira.com. Again, that's questira.com.
Stop searching and start staying in the know with our Houston Real Estate Events page on Facebook. Follow us by searching at Houston Real Estate Events to stay up to date on the latest events for real estate in the Houston area. If you are interested in having your event on our page, please email me at david@whitepickettrealty.com. Again, that's david@whitepickettrealty.com. Non-paid events only. One more time, find us on Facebook at Houston Real Estate Events, and we'll see y'all at the next one.
What do you love about White Picket?
I love that we work together as a team.
I love being professional while having fun.
I love the innovative approach we take every day.
I love the support we get to grow our business.
We love White Picket.
And I love empowering the next generation of realtors to live life by their own design. If you're looking to grow, come grow with us. Email join@teamwpr.com. Again, that's join@teamwpr.com.
And we are back on Realty Ruckus. Remember that you can live tweet us at Realty Ruckus. You can also find us on Facebook and YouTube, where if you post your comments, we can chat with you live on the air. Now, today we're talking with Chris Johnson, and Chris Johnson is a newer real estate investor. I want to say he's been in the industry for about a year now, and he came from corporate America, which I know a lot of our listeners, they either work corporate jobs, they're thinking about real estate investing, and Chris is a very good source of knowledge because a lot of times when you get around older people who've been in the industry for a while, they have their way of doing things and they kind of forgot what it was like to be brand new. So Chris brings that very fresh perspective of somebody who is brand new in the industry and just starting out doing their first deals. So
I'd like to just figure out, you know, all right, you get out of corporate America, you have that breaking point, you say, you know what, I want to get into real estate. You jump into it full time, and you said you actually tried doing it on your own. You sent out a couple letters.
For 3 or 4 months doing it on my own, had no success, and just didn't really know what I was doing.
Eventually you decide, you know what, it's going to be easier to buy a HomeVestors franchise, which is how you end up owning a franchise of HomeVestors.
Yeah, that's how I did. I started going to networking events, and I listened to Eddie Gant talk about HomeVestors, and I thought, well, you know, that's something for me. It gives me a sense of comfort because it's got a corporate theme around it, which I'm so familiar and comfortable with. And I thought, I'm going to give that a shot, and I'm going to talk to them. And we talked for a couple of months, and I bought a franchise. Obviously, lots of people are successful without, going to a franchise route. And it's just the way I went, and I've had a good time with it.
Perfect. And I see you flipping houses now, wholesaling some stuff. I mean, you're doing a little bit of everything.
Well, I'm not going to brag, okay, but I own an iPad, and I bought it cash. So I
bought it cash.
I have made thousands of dollars in 2016 flipping houses and wholesaling.
Now, there's a couple of them that haven't sold, too.
There's a couple that haven't sold. The folks on Facebook that follow me know about my river house, and I'll be doing a case study in February to go over everything that I've done wrong, and then who helped me, turn the corner and start doing things right and getting it ready to go. And in fact, we're finishing it up, the second rehab today, and listing it next week. So hopefully,
so you have a house that you're actually rehabbing twice.
I'm rehabbing it twice. I never should have bought it.
Yeah.
It was probably my 10th house that I ever walked. And after I joined HomeVestors, my mentor Eddie went with me on the first several houses, and that was great because that guy is just a guru and he knows everything.
Yeah.
But I thought, I got this. I'll do this one myself. So I went on this river house, appointment and walked around it. I've never walked a 3-story all wood house, so I had no idea how to gauge the rehab estimate, anything like that. But I bought it.
But he knew it was a good deal.
I knew it was a great, amazing deal. Couldn't let this one go. Made an offer, was shocked that she accepted it, and bought it. And 7 months later, I'm hoping to get it sold here pretty soon.
Man, it happens, and it happens to everyone in the business. In fact, I've met several real estate investors that have run into those scenarios. I mean, we've run into some of those this year as well with the flooding of the houses that happened and just other issues that, sometimes you can't help it, but make some of those mistakes. And I feel like you come out stronger out of them. You learn something, you come out stronger. I think what everybody wants to know, though, is what was it like to do your first deal? Do you remember the first deal you did?
Absolutely.
What was that like, and where did it come from, and how did you make it?
Yeah, it was one of my first appointments I went on. It was a house over by 59 and Gessner area. Pretty.
Oh, so right around here.
Yeah, right around here. 120, 130, ARV type of neighborhood. Made an offer, bought it pretty well, and was going to wholesale it. And it's one of the first mistakes I made that I learned is when you're wholesaling and you've got this option period, if you're not catching any good bites, you need to be negotiable with that price before your option period runs out. Because I'm not one of those guys that's going to get it under contract, wait till the last day of option period, and then tell the seller I'm backing out. If I've made a commitment, I've met them, I've built a rapport, I'm either going to close on the house or wholesale it. And that's what happened. I never meant to flip this house, but I wasn't negotiable on my wholesale. I had a few people make some wholesale offers, didn't take them. So next thing you know, I'm closing on this house. I had to scramble, get a hard money loan, and it was my first flip. Never intended it to be, but it was. And after we finished it,
how long did it take you to rehab it?
It took about 4 weeks. It was a pretty, other than foundation.
Pretty quick little turnaround on that one.
Yeah, other than foundation, it was just some interior, cosmetic rehab.
Yeah.
Nothing major.
Now, I know that one of the big questions that we get from people who are first starting in the industry is, where do you find your contractors from? So you were brand new at that time. This is a flip that you didn't even intend to flip.
Yes.
How did you find the people to get the rehab done and done so quickly?
Sure. Places, I'd already joined places like Rich Club, Wealth Club, those, Houston RIA, those type of things. And I saw people like Fast Track and others that are turnkey, contractors. And that's what I went with. I don't know the first thing about, buying granite or figuring out where the best place is to get tile or squares of roofing material. I still don't know a lot of that stuff.
Yeah.
So I went with turnkey contractors and it worked great.
No, and that's an awesome decision because a lot of the time, brand new investors, they feel like I need to save money.
Yep.
Yeah. Right? I got to find ways to maximize and save money. And they may find somebody like Fast Track. And Fast Track will be the first to tell you they're not the cheapest ones out there, but they're turnkey, like you said.
Yeah.
And you have a lot of investors who are like, oh, well, I'm going to go to Floor & Decor and pick out every tile myself, and I'm going to do all the selections. And next thing you know, you run into a lot of headaches. So that one turned out good or bad for you?
It turned out good. I made a decent amount of money on that first one. I think it was, when all said and done, like $18,000. And I was pretty impressed with my first first flip that I made that. And
it's not bad for your first flip.
Most people lose money their first flip.
I thought I'm losing money on a couple others, but not my first. Not my first one.
That one did that one make you a little overconfident, you think?
Yeah, it did. I knew I was destined to be what I've crowned myself the greatest up and coming real estate investor in Houston.
A guru in the making, right?
Way better than my first flip, man. I took me 10 years to sell mine. I mean, I owned it for 10 years.
And the government bought it.
And the government ended up having to buy it for me because nobody else would. It was really bad. So I mean, that's phenomenal. I mean, I love it that you can literally say that you went from working a 9-to-5 to owning your own business to running your own shop. And I know that even though you make mistakes, or we all, and like I said, we all do, that you're still, I mean, I see you every day. You're still out there going to investor meetings, and you're going to seller meetings and making offers and whatnot. And sometimes people forget about that. Sometimes people forget. It just takes going back to the basics at all times.
Oh, absolutely. And so I guess that's one big question is for all the brand new people, because you have a very different perspective than we have. It's been a long time since we've been there in those brand new shoes. What are the top 3 things that you would give? The top 3 pieces of advice?
If you were to replay it from the beginning, if you were to say, you know what, I'm getting ready to leave corporate America right now, what would you have done differently?
Not done differently. The best 3 pieces of advice. Yeah. He may have done something right.
Best 3 pieces of advice. Number 1 is start following the successful people. As soon as you join networking groups and you get on Facebook, groups and things like that, you figure out pretty quick who are the big names in town. And start following those people. There's nothing wrong with copying success. That's how the quickest way to become successful is find out somebody else that's doing it right and try to mimic the way they do it. And I'm doing that all the time. I'm following some of the biggest names in town and going to their classes, going to their their talks and listening to them and thinking, yeah, man, that's great. I'm going to try that. I'm going to do this. And that's one of the ways I ended up making a post that got my super troll after me, which I'm sure we'll talk about later. But it started out as a very innocent post.
How did that start? It started. I thought it was all started because of the check that you posted.
No, it started off as me saying that I really want to start wholesaling a lot of my houses and just buy. For new folks that don't know that, it's basically just buying the house, doing some minor repairs to it, and listing it as a fixer-upper on the MLS. So you don't spend a huge amount of money to do a giant rehab, but you're also not under the gun to try to assign it and wholesale it before closing. Yeah. So I just made a post, innocent one, that's what I like to do. An
innocent little Facebook post.
Just a little innocent post.
It really was, man. It wasn't a bad post at
wasn't
all.
I didn't mean to start a controversy. There's other posts I put out there intending to start a controversy, but this one was very innocent. And then this guy out of nowhere, just from Florida, jumps on there and just starts. Oh, is he watching? I'm glad he's watching.
It was pretty fun. He's live. He's watching us live.
Vincent?
Well, that's fine.
Pleasure to have you on the show, man.
And
that's awesome.
Trolling does make you famous.
Vincent, appreciate it. We had so much fun with you. With a lot of the Houston real estate community jumped in.
We saw that, man. That was awesome.
For 3.5 hours that night, we had fun going back and forth. And I'll give this to Vincent. That guy was firing back on so many sub-threads faster than I've ever seen anybody that throwing insults back and forth.
He had 10 windows open, 5 screens.
Oh yeah, man.
The whole setup.
I really would love to see Vincent's setup. I feel like he's got like multiple keyboards on both sides.
He can type fluently with just one hand.
Well, his whole point was wholesaling doesn't exist. That's a stupid marketing term somebody makes up. It just doesn't exist. And so all of these experienced people from the real estate investor community started joining in saying, I've made a ton of money doing that.
I'd have to disagree because we've made a ton of money
doing
wholetailing, and all we're doing is cleaning them up and just throwing them back on the market. Now, some of them, I'll tell you that we have experience. On some of them, you really don't make much. You could have made just as much by just wholesaling it outright, and therefore made more money by saving the time. But there are those in markets that have a high demand that you can literally just clean up, or if they have a bad foundation, just fix the foundation, that's it. And all of a sudden now they qualify for financing and boom, now you have a completely different type of buyer. It's not an investor buyer necessarily, or it could be, but it could also be just a fixer-upper, retail buyer. someone that wants a little bit of a discount on something and feels like they can fix it up themselves, paint it themselves, and they save you all that money. So yeah, without a doubt, I can't disagree with there being
I just think it's funny that you got trolled. I mean, you're not. I'm not trying to offend you, but like you're not like a huge Houston investor.
I'm not.
You're not one of the guys that's doing like 400 or 500 properties a year.
You're growing, man.
But you're growing, yeah. You made your presence felt enough for somebody to come after you.
I think it's awesome.
It was funny to me, and it was flattering that we went back and forth, and so many people jumped in, and I had a great time. I don't get offended by anything. I don't take any insults personally. So people can attack me any way they want, and I just have a lot of fun and blast back with sarcasm.
We saw that. You had a lot of fun with it, and I think we had fun just after the whole thing, just reading through it and seeing what people were saying. And
reading through that thread was amazing.
That was pure entertainment.
But Mr. Vincent, you were furious, and I know you were getting really upset with us, and you attacked my parenting. You attacked people that are in the military. Bragged about your test scores when you got recruited into West Point. Bragged about living in a gated community, which is, I guess, that's a huge exclusive.
That must be a thing in
that
Florida,
you live in a gated community. But I had fun. Nothing personal, and it was just a simple post. And I still believe that wholesaling exists, and I think
I still believe in wholesaling. Santa is real, and so is wholesaling.
Oh my God! Thank you guys so much for bringing that, and we definitely want to thank all of our mega trolls out there. I know we've had a couple this year, and we talk about trolling all the time. People, not everyone even knew what trolling was. We actually had some people say, "Well, what is that?"
And we were like, "Oh, just go pull up Chris's thread."
Yeah,
you can learn a lot about trolls on there.
Prime example. What else? I mean, besides that, is there any other advice that you would give to someone that's brand new getting into the business first year? What else do you think they could do?
Well, yeah. So aside from following successful people, it's definitely networking, trying to get to know. In Houston, you can go to a networking event every night of the week.
Every day.
Every day.
You can first of all eat for free and drink for free every day and network.
Of course.
Every single day and not spend $1. That's what I love about Houston. We have to take a quick commercial break, but when we get back, we'll continue talking about all of the mistakes that you make as a new investor and how you can avoid those, how you can jump in, be successful, not run into the dead ends. Stay tuned.
Hey everyone, this is David over at White Picket Realty, and I wanted to tell you about my friends over at Plans Express who can save you the headache of running your own permits. These guys are committed to offering a one-stop solution for all your plan and permit needs. They're proudly serving their friends and neighbors in the Houston surrounding areas, and they offer great service and an exceptional value. With dedicated professionals ready to serve, contact them today at 832-675-6217.
Hey Houston, this is Alan Hernandez, and I want to remind you guys to visit our friends over at Quest IRA to learn everything there is to learn about investing with your IRA. Now, if you haven't been over there recently, you have to check them out. They have free educational classes, networking opportunities, the ability to tap into $1 billion for your real estate investing deals. These are the guys to know when it comes to learning about this kind of stuff. You want to make sure you visit them and check them out over at www.questira.com. Again, that's questira.com.
Stop searching and start staying in the know with our Houston Real Estate Events page on Facebook. Follow us by searching at Houston Real Estate Events to stay up to date on the latest events for real estate in the Houston area. If you are interested in having your event on our page, please email me at david@whitepickettrealty.com. Again, that's david@whitepickettrealty.com. Non-paid events only. One more time, find us on Facebook at Houston Real Estate Events, and we'll see y'all at the next one.
What do you love about White Picket?
I love that we work together as a team.
I love being professional while having fun.
I love the innovative approach we take every day.
I love the support we get to grow our business.
We love White Picket.
And I love empowering the next generation of realtors to live life by their own design. If you're looking to grow, come grow with us. Email join@teamwpr.com. Again, that's join@teamwpr.com.
And we are back on Realty Ruckus. Remember that you can live tweet us at Realty Ruckus. You can also find us on Facebook and YouTube, where if you chat with us, we can chat with you live during the air. Now, right now, we're talking with Chris Johnson, and Chris Johnson is a new real estate investor, and he is giving us a lot of information on things that he would do differently. And if you like having guys like him on, give us a thumbs up, give us a heart. Let Chris know that you love him. Show him some love. That he's not only being trolled here.
We need to feel loved over here. We need to know if you guys are liking our show at any given point, because
there we go. I can feel the love now. I can feel the love. There you go.
There you go.
Yeah,
we love seeing that.
Very
cool,
guys. Very cool.
You guys.
Don't talk about my hair though. That's off limits.
It looks very nice, Chris.
Thank you.
So we had a conversation. We were having a conversation about what kind of things, what kind of mistakes you've made, some of the advice that you would give to a new real estate investor, and then I asked you during the break, how are you licensed? So you're also a licensed agent.
Yeah.
And
were you licensed before you quit your corporate job, or did you get licensed after?
I just got licensed about 8 months ago. So
Okay.
I from September of last year till April, I was not licensed, and that's one of the things I would have done sooner. I know there's a lot of people that say, as an investor, you don't want to be licensed because then you don't have to disclose this, you don't have to do that, you don't have to use a TREC contract, you can write a little one-pager, all of that. I like to think of it, I like to play it safe.
Mm-hmm.
Being a realtor, you're going to learn what you're not supposed to do so that you don't get sued and you can stay out of jail. And that's why I took, I also thought I'd save, I'll save 3% on every deal. And since then, I've talked to a lot of people that say, don't spend all your time trying to list your own properties. It's worth the 3% to let somebody else that knows what they're doing list it. But getting your license, I think, is important. It lets you, it just gives you that extra value.
Yeah, and you have access to things like MLS, so you don't have to go beg some realtor to give
Yes,
you
you do.
access.
Yeah.
You have your own. You can do what you want. If you need to list a property, you can do it, or if you need to maybe list maybe one of your leases, if you want to handle the
And
calls.
I'm sure, as an investor, eventually you get traditional deals that start rolling through the gate that you can take advantage of as well.
Every once in a while you do. And that's essentially what happened with us. Is we were listing a lot of our own houses, and eventually people were like, "Hey, you're pretty good at selling those. You want to sell some of mine?" And before we knew it, we were taking in some retail clients, and we didn't realize why. It grew into it.
Yeah, and I call myself a paper realtor, just a realtor on paper, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that because, all I know how to do is list my property on the MLS, sit back and wait for calls. And for a hot property in a good neighborhood, that's all you need to do. You'll start getting flooded with calls. But what I've learned is when you have a specialty house or a difficult area or whatever, that's when you turn it over to a professional realtor that knows what they're doing. They can market, they can do open houses, they can do all those sorts of things that I have no idea how to do and don't want to learn how to do.
It's a pretty smart plan right there, and good advice.
Yeah, definitely. So make sure you guys are out there talking to a realtor or know a good realtor that can help you sell your properties as well. All right, so you talked about making sure you go to networking events, which I feel like people forget to do that. People fail at doing that all the time. They want to come in.
Your net worth is your net worth.
They want to come in and they want to just literally think that all of the knowledge is going to fall on their lap, and it doesn't. And you have to know the right people, and you have to have a relationship with them. Even if it's just one on Facebook, but you have to at least know them.
Yeah.
So I do agree with networking. You also mentioned, what were some of the other things that you threw out there for people getting into the business?
Well, I think learning how to do comps is huge, and I'm still screwing up on comps all the time. I'm learning comps, but being able to run comps correctly is how you end up buying houses correctly. Every time I sit down for my little one-on-one reviews with Eddie, who's my HomeVestors mentor, he's always asking, why did you pick this one? Did you know you're comping an all brick house and your house has no brick? This has a garage and your house has no garage. These things I'm still missing, but learning how to do comps is huge. And if you don't know how to do it, find somebody that you can partner with that will, because establishing your ARV is huge. It lets you know what to make your offer and how you're going to make money on that house.
They do say you make your money on the front end. If you guys have ever heard that, it's because when you're doing your due diligence, if you know how to run your numbers correctly and you're buying it correctly, that's where you're making your money, and that's where you also lose your money if you don't buy it right. If you pay too much for that property, regardless of how much work you do or this or that and the other, you could find yourself in a situation where you lose some or don't make any at all. And that happens a lot to a lot of investors. So, all right, so besides that, let's say someone comes in and says, well, if I was to restart, and you already said, well, here's a couple of tips that you can do right. What are the things that you did absolutely wrong?
Well, one is what I spent on marketing. I started off slow, and I didn't realize I underestimated what you're supposed to do with marketing and how consistent you should be. So I started off spending, like I said, $500 that first month doing it on my own, moved up to $1,000, moved up to $2,000 to $3,000, and it took me a long time to ramp up to a reasonable amount of money to get enough leads.
Yeah.
So I would have done that earlier.
What is the magic number on marketing in your opinion?
Well, for me, it'd be between $5,000 and $8,000 a month to spend to get a decent amount of leads, coming in. I mean, in Houston, $300-400 per lead is not that unheard of. So,
No.
If you want to spend, if you can spend $5,000 or $6,000, $8,000, then you'll get some leads coming in, and you'll be able to make some money.
Even if you're spending $300 or $400 per lead.
Yeah, and how many leads do you expect coming in around that number?
Maybe 20 leads for 20, 25 leads for 8,000 is reasonable for me. That's what I see.
Yeah.
That's what we see in HomeVestors a lot.
But I mean, you could probably make more than that just in one transaction that you do.
Oh, absolutely. I can't stand when I get the calls that we all get that take me off your mailing list, that sort of thing. Leave me alone. Quit sending me stuff, because that just cost $400.
You ever wonder if those people call like Walmart or any of the other people that send them letters?
I know that, man.
And they're like, hey, take me off your list.
Yeah, I'm like, wait, just treat me like the other junk mail.
Yes.
Like, you get mailers from like the grocery store. I don't see you going up to Kroger and saying, hey, Kroger, I need you to stop sending me your mailers.
Guys, you guys don't realize those are just old school trolls, man. Those are old school.
Those are the original trolls.
That's the original troll.
Speaking of trolls,
OT, original trolling.
It's like, do they not have anything else to do? Is there nothing else they could possibly do that day besides call the mail of like the people that mailed them letters and yell at them?
Oh, the funniest ones to me are when they write you a note back on your note. It's like, hey, you're a stupid idiot, wasting time.
Yeah.
And then I get that, and I'm like, wait. Who's the stupid idiot that wasted time?
Didn't you just spend money putting a dang stamp on that thing and sending it back?
Exactly.
And time you drove to the post office and everything.
It changed nothing. We laughed. That's it.
It's hilarious, man. You're absolutely right. People don't realize how much money you do have to spend on marketing. And
well, I mean, like if you're doing Google AdWords, for example, there's AdWords now that are over $100 a click.
Yeah.
Depending on which ones you're using, AdWords can get really expensive. So yeah, marketing is a huge component of it, and it really does scale. The more you put in marketing, the more leads you get, the more houses you buy. So it's just about the magic number of how many houses you want to buy.
Mm-hmm. 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 And so what is that? What does that look like? And how many houses do you have to buy to be a successful investor? I know you posted something that said there was people that were buying 70 to 80 houses over at HomeVestors.
Yeah, a year, and I can't understand how they possibly do that. I know it happens. I know plenty of people here, even in town, are buying 50 or 100 houses a year. I don't personally understand yet how you do that unless you're spending just some massive amount of marketing that I can't afford to do. But it happens. Me personally, I'd be happy with 2 to 4 a month is a very comfortable living and gives you a lot of cash to do things that less fortunate people can't do.
That's absolutely right. And you had a funny call the other day. There was a guy that called you off of one of your letter leads.
Yes, he did.
And he said, what was the story?
We talked for several minutes, and he's asking me a lot of questions about me. What do I do? That we sent him a letter, obviously, and that's why he called. But I started asking him about his house, and he didn't want to give me his address. And I asked him, how do I, I need to come see your house to give you a price. And he told me that he doesn't give out his address to somebody he doesn't know. So he wants to call me back tomorrow and chat a little bit more to kind of get to know me before he's willing to.
He wants to like form a
That's a lonely old guy that he's going to call you every day now.
Yeah.
He didn't ask you what you were wearing by chance, did he?
Well, I told him what I was wearing. But I posted that on Facebook. I post all the interesting stuff.
First you have
to
take me to dinner, then I'll give you my address.
Well, I asked on Facebook if anybody had coupons for Outback, so I could take them tonight to go try to get his address. But
He said coupons to Outback.
I need to get his address. I don't want to waste this lead. He sounded serious about wanting to sell his house. He just didn't want to give me his address. So
you gotta love it. You gotta love people and the way they like think sometimes in this industry. Like, how does he think he can sell his house? Like,
without giving out
his address.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He's gonna form a relationship. At the same time, if you do get his address, no one else will. So you know you have no competition. Like whatever you offer, he'll have to accept because no one else will ever try to go out and take him to Outback or whatnot.
No, not take him to Outback. Give him coupons for Outback.
Give him a coupon for Outback.
15% off or like a free appetizer with lunch or something like that.
There was a post that I really, really loved, and it talked about what you actually made versus what your HUD showed. And I wanted to bring that up only because we are plagued with self-made gurus, not just here, but anywhere. And it comes from, I think it stems from just TV making it look like when you're in real estate, you're automatically rich, right?
Sure.
Mm-hmm. And that you crush it on every deal.
And
every deal is like
yesterday.
a $50,000 deal.
People that are not in real estate look at someone who is in real estate. They may walk up to you and I, and we may say something like, we're in real estate or we own a real estate company or whatever, and they immediately think you are swimming in a pile of cash.
Yeah.
And like
living the easy life too.
You're like Scrooge McDuck, just swimming through there. You know what I mean? Like coins everywhere, gold coins, and just like dollars just falling on you. And it's totally not like that because. And I think then we go like a step further, and we're always like posting things on Facebook and other social media forums to try to look good, and people don't realize social media has become more of a marketing place than reality. And you went the other route.
Stacks of cash,
you were
big
like,
checks.
I mean, I see people that post, pictures of like, I got, $10,000 in my hands or a $100,000 check, but don't actually tell you about all of their expenses or their holding costs or everything. It's like, I just made $100,000. We know the truth, but the public doesn't. And so you went out there and you made a post, and it was like a $40,000 or $45,000 check. Right.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, that's what I got at closing was this check that looked very impressive, 45, 48,000, something like that. And I posted it out there and said, okay, here's a breakdown of a real check from a real deal that somebody like me that's only been in it for a year or so is going to make. And I showed coming out your holding costs, coming out paying back for your rehab, and all these other things that come out of it.
Your overage on a rehab. So if you went over on your rehab and you didn't have the money sitting in escrow, that's coming out of your own pocket.
Right.
So you got to pay yourself back.
You got to pay yourself back, and very quickly that $48,000 check turned into I think $15,000 or $16,000 that went into my bank account, and that was over a 4-month period, of flipping this house. So you have to keep the volume up to make the money because obviously $15,000 over a 4-month period is not a lot of money.
Yeah.
But I like to see people show what's the reality that you're going to make out there, and the stacks of cash is not it.
Yeah, I completely agree with you, and I think that's what I loved about that post the most. It's because we don't get enough of that. It's the reality is you get into this business and it's not HGTV. It's not $100,000 each transaction. It's not swimming in a pile of cash. It's hard work. It's dedication. It's long hours, and it's a lot of knowledge, networking, and like you said, making some mistakes and getting past them. So thank you very much for joining us today. We're gonna be right back. We're gonna finish off with some afterthoughts, things we've learned, trolls we've gotten trolled by. We're going to be back, take a quick commercial break. Stay tuned.
Hey everyone, this is David over at White Picket Realty, and I wanted to tell you about my friends over at Plans Express who can save you the headache of running your own permits. These guys are committed to offering a one-stop solution for all your plan and permit needs. They're proudly serving their friends and neighbors in the Houston surrounding areas, and they offer great service at an exceptional value. With dedicated professionals ready to serve. Contact them today at 832-675-6217.
Hey Houston, this is Alan Hernandez, and I want to remind you guys to visit our friends over at Quest IRA to learn everything there is to learn about investing with your IRA. Now, if you haven't been over there recently, you have to check them out. They have free educational classes, networking opportunities, the ability to tap into $1 billion for your real estate investing deals. These are the guys to know when it comes to learning about this kind of stuff. You want to make sure you visit them and check them out over at www.questira.com. Again, that's questira.com.
Stop searching and start staying in the know with our Houston Real Estate Events page on Facebook. Follow us by searching at Houston Real Estate Events to stay up to date on the latest events for real estate in the Houston area. If you are interested in having your event on our page, please email me at david@whitepicketrealty.com. Again, that's david@whitepicketrealty.com. Non-paid events only. One more time, find us on Facebook at Houston Real Estate Events, and we'll see y'all at the next one.
What do you love about White Picket?
I love that we work together as a team.
I love being professional while having fun.
I love the innovative approach we take every day.
I love the support we get to grow our business.
We love White Picket.
And I love empowering the next generation of realtors to live life by their own design. If you're looking to grow, come grow with us. Email join@teamwpr.com. Again, that's join@teamwpr.com.
And we are back on Realty Ruckus. Remember that you can live tweet us at Realty Ruckus. You can also find us live on Facebook and YouTube, where if you post your comments, we can chat with you live during the air. Now, it's been great today. We've had Chris Johnson in, who is a newer real estate investor, has been giving us that perspective that we don't get a lot of the time because we're just not in the new part of the business anymore. We've been around for so long now that we forget what it's like to start from scratch sometimes, and it's nice to have.
And it's
that
not just
bit.
that; it's just year to year things change so drastically, man. So coming into the business this year is different than it was last year. I mean, it really is. Things change so fast. So, understanding what things you can do to do things right, and what things to avoid to keep from losing your buns off, I think it's priceless. It's priceless to have that because you don't get a lot of the dose of reality. So if you were coming back in brand new, getting started, some of the other things you would definitely not do. So you mentioned you've had some scenarios where you've lost some money, and you also made some really, really good money.
Yeah.
Anything else that you would definitely warn the new investor out there, the new person that's getting into real estate?
Well, so that first flip that I told you about, my accidental flip that I never intended, I didn't get anybody's help on what I should actually list it as. I thought I did a great job on the ARV. I think I do a great job on everything, but I usually don't. But I thought I did a great job on the list price, and obviously I underlisted because I had 25 showings in about 4 days. And I started realizing I'm getting full price offers like crazy. And I started realizing, okay, I seriously underpriced this.
Yeah.
And I don't know how to start a bidding war. So I accepted the first full price offer that came, and I probably could have made a lot more money on that house, but I was excited. This full price offer, I could pay my hard money back. I can do all of this. I can have this money, make money, post my stack of cash. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's one of the other things is the list prices when you're ready to sell. Make sure that you appropriately price it. And if you don't know how, talk to a realtor that knows that area of town, talk to somebody, post it out on Facebook and ask questions. I love asking questions.
You're absolutely right, because you can either list too low and miss out on some money. You may not know how to set up that highest and best scenario, the auction scenario type deal, or you may list too high and not get any traction. You may not sell it because of that, and then now you're sitting on another problem, and you're not taking pictures of piles of cash.
And I'll when I do my River House case study in February, I'll go over a lot of that.
Let us know what we can do with that, man. We love that that you're putting that out there, and if there's anything we can do to help, we definitely want to contribute.
Are you in the
way that we
market
can.
to buy a river house?
Unfortunately, I'm not in the
Are
market.
you in the market to buy a river
But
house?
I do have a flood house I can trade you.
I'll take it.
We can do that. I'll trade you one of mine for one of yours. So we do want to talk about some of the events that we want to make sure that you guys are in the know of, and that's a quotation from our co-producer David Bonilla.
You can't say of afterwards. It just kills it.
We want to make sure you guys are in the know
There you go.
on events that are happening out there that are real estate related, places where you can come out, hang out with us, check us out, talk to Chris Johnson if you'd like, ask him anything that you need to know about getting into real estate, and you know, the whole point of this is because we want you guys to grow your business. So first off, we want to make sure that you guys stay warm out there. December 20th, we have an event coming up. Can you tell us about it, David?
Yeah, we're going to be doing a blanket drive and warm clothing here at the White Picket office. It's going to be donated to the Star of Hope to help out the homeless in the community, keep them warm this winter. And that's especially important because we do have that cold snap coming up. And it's, you know, good that I scheduled an event that time because we're actually going to have a hot chocolate bar as well here at the office for people to come by when they donate their blankets, kind of chill out and get warm before they head back out and do whatever it is. Maybe finish some last minute Christmas shopping or whatever it might be.
All right, so we got that. We got that event set up. Don't forget to come out here and hang out with us, have some chocolate, and have a good time. That's definitely all that's about. Then January is coming really, really soon.
Yeah, really fast.
It's scary how fast that's coming about, you guys, because this year, I mean, it's over, you know, in my opinion, and I'm already like hitting that vacation mode.
Most people are like on the road today. I just straight shot all the way here really quick. It was amazing.
I'm not kidding you.
People have already shut down.
It was hard for me to wake up this morning and say, you know what, we're gonna go do a show today, just because I'm at that point where I'm ready to take off for a few weeks and just do nothing, you know. But that'll happen for me end of December. We're gonna go out and we're gonna hang out in the Miami area. I'm gonna go to a bowl game. I'm gonna go to see FSU play. I'm gonna go see my alma mater play. So that's gonna be a good time.
Awesome,
I'm gonna be doing that for New Year's.
Who are they playing?
I have no clue. So I just know that I'm going. I quit following after I realized that Alabama was gonna take it all, like always.
Hey man,
it's been a horrible season, you guys. But at least I'm gonna go out and have some fun with it towards the end of the year and try to get my head out of things and then come back refreshed. And you got to do that sometimes. But when we get back, January 12th. We're gonna have a really, really cool event, and it's all about like kicking your year off to the right start. Like, we want to make sure that you guys out there that are following us, that are coming out to our events, we want to make sure that you guys have the tools and the resources to do things the right way, and it starts with goal setting.
Yeah, exactly. So this class is definitely geared towards realtors, people that need to set goals for their business as entrepreneurs. We're going to be hosting that with Eric Maya, Premier Nationwide Lending, and we should have him on the show here in the next couple of weeks.
We tried to have him on the show this Tuesday.
Yeah, he reached out to me. We want to get him on the show live. So January 12th, we are hosting that class with him. We're going to be setting some goals, and I think during that program, we actually set up a one-year business plan to get you kick-started on that. And you can check out more information today. I'll be posting the Facebook event, the Eventbrite link, and as well on the Houston Real Estate Events page.
And, you know, the cool thing about that event is that Gibran has designed a really, really awesome spreadsheet that tells you exactly what you need to be doing to make the money that you want to make. So here's the way it works. You tell us how much money you want to make, which, by the way, everyone's so shy about that. Have you noticed? It's like, how much money do you want to make? And it's like, no one wants to say. But let's say you want to make $300,000-$400,000. Well, what does it take? How many calls do you have to make? How many people do you have to meet? How many letters do you have to send?
It's amazing how much people overestimate the amount of work needed to make that. I'm not saying that it's easy or it's a little bit amount of work, but people really overestimate it. They don't realize how many leads they have to process. They don't realize how many customers they need to be dealing with and how many closings they need all around. So it is really good to be able to look at that and say, oh, wow, this is actually very manageable if that's the amount of money that I want to make.
And, you know, that's the thing. Like, sometimes if you realize you have to send out 500 handwritten letters, which is part of what we do. Part of our marketing is handwritten letters. It's easy to break that down to, a couple a day, and instead of thinking, oh my goodness, I got to send out 500 handwritten letters, you just knock them out slowly. So that's what that event is all about. Make sure that you guys save the date now. It's January 12th. It's going to be a phenomenal event. It's co-hosted by by our friend Eric Maya, and we're going to be bringing you guys a lot of value on that. Last but not least, we have our first happy hour date already set up.
That's right. We are renewing the White Picket Realty Happy Hour, and we actually are happy to welcome on the title sponsor this year, Jet Lending, and Eddie Gant will be joining
look
us.
at that.
Yeah.
So you guys are going to be on there as our title sponsors this year, and we're so excited to be working with Jet. Man, Jet is not only an awesome company, you know, and it's led by awesome people, which you've spoken about here today. At the same time, you know, they're doing just amazing things for the industry, bringing great products in as far as hard money loans are concerned for investors, and then you know what I like about them? They help people grow. And,
do.
And you know, that's something that we can stand behind, and that's something that we like to do as well. So that pretty much sums it up. We're out of time, and it's I hate to see you guys go, but it's been a phenomenal show. Don't forget that we're here Tuesdays and Fridays from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. This is the Realty Ruckus out of the White Picket Realty Studios. I am your host, Alan Hernandez, with your co-producers, Jabron Hernandez, David Bonilla, and our guest today, Chris Johnson. Thank you very much for joining us. Special guest joining us. Thank you guys again for watching. We'll see you guys next Tuesday. Have a great weekend.
This has been the Realty Ruckus. Make sure and join us every Tuesday and Friday for new episodes. Find us on YouTube and Facebook for replays of previous episodes. And as always, keep elevating yourself and keep up your ruckus. Thanks for listening. Realty Ruckus has been brought to you by Smart Pig Media Productions.